outside of the pure shock of what we just heard and trying to process all that information, there really is nothing more for me to say. Hey everyone, and welcome back to more The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. Previously, we made our way back here to the sealed grounds, I believe is what they're called, but it's not called that now because, as you can see, Hylia's Realm's up here. And that's because we actually were able to activate the Gate of Time. The whole reason that, keep in mind, we had to do so was because Zelda was through the Gate of Time, and the only way to access it was through the Gate of Time, so then we went on that whole process of getting Sacred Flames. I'm not going to run through the whole thing, but you pretty much get the idea. We were finally able to access the Gate of Time and meet up with Zelda, where, well, quite a lot was revealed, let's say that. And I'm not going to talk about all of that right now, as there is a ton to unpack, and if you missed that, I'd recommend going back and watching that. This time, outside of just trying to cope with all of that knowledge and things that we just learned, it's time for us to keep moving forward. If I can talk to you, that is. I see you've said goodbye. Now you must keep the promise you made to her. You must find the Triforce. Return to your time. There is work to be done there. Do not fear for Zelda. I will watch over her here. Go now and fulfill your destiny. Seems like we still have more to do. And something I didn't mention, but again, if you watched, you would have noticed this, is that our sword has upgraded yet again. It was blessed by Zelda, and as you can see, it now is even stronger. They don't really say what the upgrade does, but what it does do, as you can see, it makes the Skyward Strike come out a lot faster and go out a lot further. So it's an upgrade to that, something you may have assumed you'd get at some point via the Sacred Flames, but we actually didn't until now. So you've returned. Then you know everything. On the other side of that gate, Zelda waits, suspended in a sleep without end. But do not despair, for she is still alive and well. True to legend, the Triforce is the one thing with the power to vanquish demise. It is thought to have been hidden within Skyloft by the goddess. Sadly, that is all we know of where it rests. All the clues to its whereabouts have been lost to the ages. Link, you have likely come to the same conclusion, but I will spell it out just the same. The key to finding the Triforce must be in Skyloft. Go now, Link. Find the Triforce.
Whoa, whoa, whoa there, hold up. Link, there's something I gotta tell you. Zelda, how's she holding up? Was she okay when you saw her?
She's great, man.
She was? Oh, good to hear. But she's still stuck there till this whole mess blows over, huh? Link, I've made up my mind. I'm not going back. I'm staying right here with Granny. Oh, don't look so bummed out. Do I look sad? Nah, I'm doing what I want to do. I don't know how to explain it. I just got this feeling in my belly that there's work to do here. Someone's got to watch this big, ugly monster, and someone's got to make sure Granny's doing alright. It ain't as action-packed as what you're doing, but maybe this is my destiny. Know what I mean? Besides, not so bad here. Living up in the sky was okay, I guess, but don't you just love the way it smells down here? What? That's not weird to say. Check it out. Zelda and Granny have brought life back to the land here. I bet even the weakest sapling could grow into the beast of a tree in a soil like this. It'd brighten this place up a little too. I mean, sure, it'd take a few years for it to grow, but as far as I'm concerned, I've got nothing but time. It's weird to say out loud, but that's just how I feel right now. So, yeah, you know, when you get back to Skyloft, do me a favor and let people know I'm doing okay down here. Colin and Stritch might get a little emotional since they look up to me, but you tell them I'm happy, okay? Thanks, Link.
Again, I mentioned it last time, but the progression of Groose as a character is one of my favorite parts about Skyward Sword. Seeing how far he's come as an individual, and yeah, it's just super cool to me. Because as much as we can be sad about what happened at the end of last episode, as bittersweet as it was to run to Zelda, there's no time to be down as we have things to do. After all, we still can free Zelda, keep in mind, it's just up to us to do so. But something I want to point out is if you look through the crack in the door, you'll notice the amber-looking shape that at the end of last episode we saw Zelda kind of turn into, or go inside of. This was something I actually pointed out back at the first episode, or not the first episode, but the first episode that we made it in here. I looked through here and I was like, hey, well, what's back in there? I wonder what that's about. So there's actually been foreshadowing this entire time. Keep in mind, since there's some time shenanigans going on, it's a bit of a mind-boggling thing to think about, but essentially Zelda was simultaneously in there the whole time, but also out doing other stuff because of how time warping stuff works. It's complicated, but essentially the takeaway is there's a lot of time shenanigans, and it's kind of cool to see those small details actually add up over time. So yeah, as was implied by Impa and now the old lady, the Triforce is up in Skyloft somewhere, meaning we have very little things to do here on the surface, seemingly for now. But of course, one of the things I wanted to do was something I messed up on the last episode, which was this goddess wall little thing here. Essentially, I talked to Gorko, he made a goddess wall appear, said if you drew a certain pattern, like of an arrow or something would happen. I drew it incorrectly, and instead we got hearts, and he said he should come back at a different time to do so. I mentioned at the end of the episode that they do respawn, as I think he did as well, but I didn't mention when or how they respawn, and I actually didn't know for a fact. Upon doing a little bit of research, to my knowledge, it's upon restarting the game. So if you save and quit, and then close the game and then reopen it, they should all be respawning. So it's a little annoying to have to reset to try this again, but we're going to do what we can. Do you have anything to say to this?
Something different about... is there something different about your sword, or is it just me? Either way, bud, you have to get rid of those bad guys down there. You know, I've been able to stop thinking about research. Yeah, okay, it's the same thing. Okay, so I think first things first, I don't know if it's required to take out these guys. I'm actually not sure. I kind of want to try out the new Skyward Strike on them. Look at that. I mean, it doesn't do enough to, like, kill them, but still, I mean, it's cool, right? You might as well just swing twice at them, because I feel like that's easier, but hey, it's still kind of cool. Again, it charges a lot quicker, making it even more valuable, because something that was annoying about the old version of the Skyward Strike was just that it took such a long time for it to actually, you know, charge up. Okay, so we took care of those guys. Maybe now he'll be able to do it? Again, I just wanted to be sure, because I wasn't 100% certain. Anything new? Great riches, do you suppose they really meant it?
Yeah, please recite the text.
Glimmering hexagon, you seeks great riches, draw the shape so that it may be known.
Okay, so it's a different shape now. Okay. Interesting. So, because last time I think it was, you said something about an arrow, if I recall correctly, I think. Either way, because I remember whenever I drew it, it gave me hearts, which wasn't what he wanted, I think? Again, someone can let me know if this... I could have sworn, though, that was the case. Anyway.
Glimmering hexagon, ye who seeks great riches, draw the shape so that it may be known. Well, that is what's written here. Does that mean anything to you?
So I guess it changes, maybe based on the day or upon resetting the game. That's a little interesting, so maybe you could wait to try to get, like, something that... you know, resembles the shape a little bit more. So we're just going to try to draw it. I'm going to do the best I can. I have no clue how this will work. We'll see what we can do. So we said a glimmering hexagon. That would be something like... bop, 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 bop. Like that? I think that was it, because I think we got money and that was it.
Sweet, money bags! So that's what I meant by great riches. For helping me out with my research, I would like to give you a little something.
And there we go. We get a piece art from doing so. This is why I kept coming back to this area and saying, oh, maybe now he's willing to do this because it was an important collectible. The magical power of the goddess walls returns after some time has passed. Yeah, okay. So yeah, that time, of course, as you saw, it gives us money, which, you know, is nice. But, of course, the main thing I want to get there was the piece of heart, meaning that we actually only have 2 pieces of heart left in the entire game, which is kind of crazy when you think about it, just how much progress we made. Either way, though, that is all the things I want to do down here, so with that, it's time for us to head to the sky. Upon returning to the sky, we're actually not going to stay up here too long, despite us now having a directive of what to do. Because, as you're going to see, while there is things to do, and it's certainly, you know, important, we're going to be having to go around to new locations on the surface for multiple different reasons. But first things first, it's time for us to head back to Skyloft, and this time we'll actually have maybe a few things to do. First things first, let's just land around here near the sky, or not the sky, the Night Academy. It's kind of like a home field for us. I mean, it is where our literal room is and whatnot. So, once you return to Skyloft, you're pretty much just set to go around and do whatever. Like, you could go around and try to find out what you're supposed to do and whatnot. So you may be a little confused what to do. And of course, what's the thing I always do when I'm confused? I go to spend absurd amounts of cash on things I'll probably never use. Let's go see if there's anything going on in the shop. Nothing new at the actual store. Of course, there's gonna be nothing new at the potion shop. Don't think I need to store anything with you. Definitely have nothing new to upgrade, and that's a little interesting. The guys from the fortune-telling booth's not here. Huh. It's a little weird. This guy's something to say to us.
I haven't seen the fortune teller much these days. You know his crystal ball got broken, right? I just hope he's not sitting at home kicking himself for foreseeing this. You mind running over and checking it on him? It's also the eastern edge of Skyloft.
Oh boy. Okay, so it sounds like the time between us going down to see Zelda and whatnot. Unfortunately, it seems like the fortune teller had a mishap with his crystal ball breaking, which definitely doesn't sound good. Mostly because I'm guessing that's how he makes his living, right? So we'll check him out. He says that he lives supposedly in one of these houses, and if I remember correctly, I think it's the one that's like all the way back here. Because I think this is the Midnight Shop one. Yes. Wait, whoa. Gear Peddler, Rupins. I think that's the right guy. Anyway, I think back here it's the... Oh, wait, what? Oh, whoa, is it down there? Oh my god, my sense of spatial awareness is terrible. Because I could have sworn... Oh, come on. I could have sworn it was around there somewhere. It must be up here then. I think it's... Yeah, it's definitely up here. Because I remember it being like under this, like a ridge type thing. Like this little tunnel looking place. I think this is where he's at, right? I'm pretty sure this is it. About to find out either way. Let's see, what are we dealing with? And, yep, this is definitely the place. Of course, first things first, I'm going to rummage through your goodies, see what you have in here. Again, it looks very identical to mine. It has this fake sword in it and everything, but okay. I'm fine. Go on. Please leave me be. My crystal ball is shattered. Without it, my eyes can no longer gaze deeply into the future. It's almost as though these exquisite, all-seeing eyes of mine have begun to dull and cloud over with sadness now that my crystal ball is gone. If only I had a new crystal ball to gaze into. Is it not true that you recovered a piece of the windmill from beneath the clouds recently, young man? The shattered crystal ball was salvaged from below by Gondo's ancestor long before it found its way into my delicate hands. There may still be others like it where you came from. Yes. Would you search for a new one for me? I'll do my best. Yes, no doubt you can see the gratitude in my eyes. The robot who originally retrieved this crystal ball said to have reported that he found it in a building atop a mountain peak. Can you believe it? Your dowsing ability can be calibrated to locate the crystal ball that this person is seeking. However, if you're searching for another object that someone has asked you to find, the target will be removed. Switch to this. Might as well, because I don't think we have anything else being, targeted. Even though we have 3 empty spaces, I feel like we should just be able to keep them for now. I'm counting on you, young man. Without my crystal ball, I cannot gaze into the future. Oh no, my eyes, they would drop with despair. Please bring me a crystal ball with all haste. Okay, so it seems like we have, as I kind of foreshadowed, a directive to head back to the surface, and considering the hint of it being on top of a mountain, there's only really one location it could be based on the desert, forest, or giant volcano. So, thankfully, we have a pretty good lead there, but I want to take a look around Skyloft, because there is still, some small things to check out, maybe, as we go around. We are going to go do this first, just because I want to get it out of the way. And as I didn't really mention it, but of course there's no more goddess chests for us to get this time, since we did go down to the surface, but we didn't get any of them, keep in mind. Which, interestingly enough, the goddess cube thing doesn't work on the surface. Like, it doesn't show you if there's any in that area, whereas these do. For example, this is saying the crystal ball's down there, which, again, based on the things given, it would make sense that that's where it would be at. Anyway, I'm going to cut until I am landing in the location that we need to be at. I'll see you there in just a second. Now in the Elden region, and in case you're curious, this is the temple entrance is where I landed. Because, if we pull out the dowsing ability, we can see that there is something that looks like a crystal ball right up there. And funnily enough, you can see where the other one may have been at if they were identical, and that's presumably where the first one was grabbed from. So it's kind of cool we have this consistency here. Okay, so we're going to want to find a way up there, which originally we had no way of getting to, but we actually can get up there now, but we had no reason to be getting up here until this moment. Thanks to the claw shot, allowing us to then get over here and, actually access this. I have located a substance that closely resembles the material used in the fortune teller's crystal ball. It should make a suitable replacement. Should I call the robot to collect it? Yes. Master, I'll send word to the robot using telepathic transmission.
Mistress Fee, I'm here. Zerp. You want me to carry this, Berserk? Hey, Master Sharpants, how come you always get the easy jobs, Zbert? I'll be waiting for you in the sky, so don't take too long, Vert. Master, I suggest we also return to the sky and collect the crystal ball. Oh, I'm giving her the wrong voice. I was giving her the wrong voice. I was so concentrated on that. Master, I suggest we also return to the sky and collect the crystal ball as soon as possible. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, there was that. Nothing else for us to do down here really at this moment. Again, it really was just for that specific thing, so head back up to the sky, and again, I'll cut until we're in the location of the fortune teller's house, since that's where we're gonna have to bring it to. I'll see you guys there in just a moment. Here's that bright and shiny crystal ball. Bzzzt. I'm glad that didn't break it. If you need me, Zwoosh, plane, feel free to call. From Mistress Free, I would travel any distance, or to any destination. Kazert. Don't question my language. Get welded.
Oh, what do my eyes behold? This is it. You found it. This is the exactly... Okay, I'm having a problem today. This is exactly the same as the crystal ball I used before. Fates and fortunes, my eyes are wide with the thrill of the possibility and damp with tears of gratitude. I'll be able to start gazing into the future and making predictions at once. Come by the bazaar again and I'll tell you your fortune for a special price. Of course, we got gratitude crystals, which is the main reward, but we also seemingly will have a bit of a steal should we decide to get our fortune read. Don't really have any reason to at this moment, but hey, feels nice to help people out, and we still get the reward of the gratitude crystals, which is nice. Of course, that's still only one thing down. We may not have anything new to buy at the bazaar or Beetle Air Shop or anything, but that doesn't mean we still shouldn't take our, nightly rounds and make sure everyone's doing okay. That lady just popped in because the render distance of this game is hilarious. So we're going to take a look around, and I do want to see if we can interact with some people. One thing I want to do is I actually want to see if we can talk to Beetle, see if he has anything to say to us. He might just have something going on, or who knows, maybe he's selling something new. Even though he hasn't been selling anything new for a while, feels like it's the right thing to do. I mean, worst case scenario, what, he tries to kill us because we didn't buy anything in his empty shop, then I think that's just straight up homicide. Or maybe it's attempted homicide? Attempted manslaughter? Something like that. I don't really know my law too well. Yep, definitely seeing a whole lot of nothing. Hey, Beetle, how you doing? Want to know why I'm on a bicycle? No, not really. Fine then, just don't break my concentration. I think I'm bored, I have to pedal a little hard. Yeah, because extra weight. And then he got angry at us, and yeah, okay. At least he doesn't get angry at us for not buying anything. Nothing new with him, though. Again, I always want to check up on him, though. He's a friendly fella. He may be selling something new, right? Let's see here. I believe the next thing I want to check is... I actually may want to put away the pellet bag, or I may want to swap out the fairy in the bottle for an empty bottle. I'm not sure. I kind of just want to see. Or maybe I'll have something new to say. No thanks, actually. I don't even read that. I didn't really want to because it was a little bit weird. But I think I just want to kind of try to figure out where we need to go. Because as I was trying to explain earlier, or I was going to explain and I got distracted, you're kind of just dropped off here with no real leads given in terms of where you should go. But if you use a little bit of common sense, or you just check around after a while, you may find your way back here to the Night Academy. And we've had somebody here in the Night Academy who has helped us with a few questions before about ancient Hyrule and whatnot, or ancient Surface, thinking of different games. And may be able to help us in this moment as well. Let's see if Headmaster Gapora is doing well. Besides, we can give him an update of how Zelda's doing, if nothing else. It's kind of been a bit. Gapora!
Hey!
Oh, hello, Link. Have you heard anything more about my daughter? What is it? If you know anything at all, I urge you to share it with me. You want to tell me, but you can't. I understand. I'm sure you have a good reason for keeping quiet. Link, I've been doing some thinking since we last spoke. You've had this destiny thrust upon you without warning or choice, for that matter, but I wish to help you as best I can. I'm getting older and I lack the vigor of youth, but even old men have ways of being useful too. I wish to share as much of my knowledge with you as I can. If you have any question at all, about Skyloft or its history, I'll be glad to tell you what I know. Speaking of, what do I know of the Triforce? Link, where did you hear that word? It's true that the ancient texts make several mentions of the Triforce within their pages. Unfortunately, the actual location of the Triforce isn't illuminated in any of those tombs. Its whereabouts are lost to history. I'm sorry, Link, it shames me to say, but my knowledge is of little use of this subject. Huh.
Well, unfortunately, it seems as though... Oh,
Link, just a moment. Though there is one whose vast knowledge may be of use. Surely you're familiar with Levias, the great sky spirit who has guarded our realm for ages? Levias has served as the protector of our skies for a long time, and his knowledge of our world is encyclopedic, to put it mildly. If anyone in the entirety of Skyloft and beyond were to know about the Triforce, it would be him.
do you know where he is?
Yes, I feared that might be your next question. About that, I imagine in your travels you've taken notice of the tremendous thunderhead that suddenly appeared in our skies. Recently I've heard rumors suggesting that Levias is trapped inside that massive cloud. I asked Instructor Olin to look into this troubling cloud in order to determine if there's any truth to these rumors. I'd meant to inquire about this findings earlier, but completely forgot. After Zelda went missing. Instructor Olin can fill me in the details later, so why don't you go speak with him yourself and see what his investigations have revealed?
Okay, I was about to say, unfortunately, it seems like no lead there, but it looks like we have at least a little bit of something going on. Hearing of Levias, a name we haven't even heard before. Instructor Olin. What you got going on in here? Got some thoughts going on?
Oh, Link, how goes your search for Zelda? Have you found her yet?
What?
Levias. Ah, so you've been talking to the headmaster, I take it. If I'm correct, Levias is the one inside the Thunderhead, but that's not the Levias that we all know. That's a monster. It certainly looks like Levias, but last time I approached him, he came rushing at me, and his eyes, they were full of malice. People change, or old wizened creatures change, rather. Perhaps it's more than that. He is possessed by something. That's how it felt to me, anyway.
What?
You want to talk to Levias? That's impossible. I don't think Levias is capable of listening. Not in his current state, no. And even if you were to get close enough to talk to him, it will likely end with you getting brushed aside and sent flying to your death in a sea of clouds.
What?
You're still planning on going? I see. It's because you need to find Zelda. I understand. I get the feeling nothing I could say would talk you out of it.
Hey, I have an idea. Come with me.
Levias is inside the Thunderhead. He's been acting so strangely, like something has possessed him. If we can somehow free him from whatever it is that has hold over him, then there's a chance he'll return to his senses. Listen well, Link, because I'm about to teach you a very powerful bird riding technique. It's called the Spiral Charge. Using the Spiral Charge, you can ride Levias, or rid Levias of the blight that is held of him. The technique is quite easy to perform. All you have to do is press X.
However, the acceleration of the effect lasts longer than any attack.
Move you've used so far. Maintaining the stable flight can be tricky. This is a technique that only Senior Knight Academy students who have mastered high-level flight skills are allowed to perform. It's still a bit too early for you, but this is an extraordinary circumstance, so I'll make an exception this time. However, I will test you. First, dive off this platform and call your bird.
Okay, we'll do just that. Finally learning something new with our bird. Been a while, actually.
Listen up, Link. I taught your Lofty to perform a Spiral Charge when you press X. Oh, that was quick, apparently. Use the Spiral Charge and attack to break the 10 targets placed around the floating boulders up ahead. If you can destroy 10 targets in under 120 seconds, I'll recognize you as a skilled bird rider. Alright, off you go.
Yep, so now we have a bit of a test going on. If we press X now instead of a normal boost, as you can see, now we do a barrel roll straight out of Star Fox, which also does damage to enemies, targets, and things like that. I don't believe it's any faster than the normal dash. It's definitely not any slower, so you don't have to worry about being like, oh, well, I like the other one better because it allowed me to actually get more done or something. Don't believe that's the case. The main things of note with it is that he explains how it lasts a little bit longer than like the normal dash would, so you are kind of committing yourself a little bit longer. But even still, it really is not that bad, despite how he describes it, at least in my mind. And as long as you've gotten semi-used to the bird flying at this point, which hopefully you're at least okay with, then you're probably going to be just fine. This little mini-game here is not bad. It's mostly just annoying when the birds are flying around. You have to hit the moving targets, at least for me, because again, my aim is trash. But the actual stable targets here are no big deal. So we're going to see if we can do our best to hit all these targets. It is good practice. Oh, anyway. Because then we can also make sure we're doing better at the minigame itself. And as you can see, you don't need to hit every target, just almost all of them. Which, I mean, you know, it's still a lot, but at least you don't hit every single one. Where's the... I think there was supposed to be a... Yep, over there. I'm just going to try to hit the ones that are a little bit closer to us. And... there we go. Got it. Not that bad. Now we learned the new technique.
Oh, you managed to destroy 10 targets within the time limit. If you can control your bird that well, you'll have no problems at all. I knew you could do it, Link. And what a magnificent red bird. You are henceforth permitted to use the spiral charge attack as a qualified bird rider. The next thing we have to address is just how to go about finding Levias. Maybe the owner of the Lumpy Pumpkin might know something. Every year he makes an offering of his pumpkin soup to Levias. Go to Lumpy Pumpkin and ask him what he knows. Okay, so it seems like we have a reason to go back to the Lumpy Pumpkin of all places, a place we haven't... That was kind of a double entendre. A place we haven't had any reason to go to for quite a while. Guess we'll head over there. And usually I cut ahead in order to kind of save some time. But I do want to actually take this time to mention a little bit more things about the spin attack, which is, yes, it does replace... I kind of described it during it, but I was going a little fast. It does replace the normal boost, but as I mentioned, I don't believe it's any faster or slower. It essentially just makes it so that you do damage while pressing the X button. Which, to be honest with you, I wish it had an increased speed, because I feel like at this point, come on, why not just give us the ability to have an increased speed? Or maybe if you hold the X button, allow us to speed up. You know, I mean, I like the flying mechanics of having to dive down to gain speed and whatnot, but... at some point, you gotta be a little kind to us, right? And, come on. Either way, wasn't that long of a fly. Let's see if we can land here. Let's see, there's the pumpkin field. There's Kina there. We have no reason to really talk to her, though. So let's just go in and talk to Levias. Whoa, that is a big freaking pumpkin inside a pumpkin where he serves pumpkin soup. That's a lot of pumpkins.
What's the matter? Look like you've got something mighty serious on your mind.
Actually...
Levias? What about him? I'm sure I know Levias well, but I wasn't aware anything was wrong. Every year I often retire a basin full of my pumpkin soup.
Basin?
But lately a huge thunderhead has been brewing there, and I haven't yet made this year's offering. I tell you, I feel horrible about it. You say you'll deliver a pot of my soup to Levias? Oh, don't know how to plan to fly it in that huge thunderhead brewing out there, but if that's the case, I'm going to do everything I can to make Levias the best batch of soup ever. You wait right here. I'm getting inspired to fry up some soup like I've never souped before.
That's the sound of soup right there. Also, I like his pink shoes.
Voila, here it is. I've been cooking this stuff for, well, over 10 years, and I have to say this is the best batch of pumpkin soup I've ever created.
Master, I'll signal for the robot. Miss Fee, I'm here. Bzzzt. Did he come in from like a window or something? Also, how the frick does this guy bring it over there? We have a robot that helps us bring it over. How does this guy bring it over? That's very confusing. Oh, it's another heavy load, but don't worry. I can carry anything. I'll be waiting outside. I can take you wherever he needs to go as soon as you are ready. Again, how is he going to get that out the building? I'm very confused by how this works, but okay.
Place where I offer soup to Levias is inside the Thundered Cloud, an island with an everlasting rainbow. I don't know when you see it. Good luck.
Okay, don't really think there's anything else for us to do really here inside the Lumpy Pumpkin. Our boy Stretch is up there. Don't really have anything to say to him, though. One small detail I actually didn't mention that I kind of want to now is that the sheath of the Master Sword actually changed. Not just now, but with every single upgrade to the Goddess Sword, it changed. But now, if you recall, before it was blessed, it had like a silver look to it instead of the gold it has now. Again, it's kind of some small details I really like. Seems like you actually have something to say to us. Oh, thanks for helping me carry the pumpkins the other day. Thanks to you, ready to plant the new seeds. The only thing is, plowing the patch so that it's ready to be planted is hard work. When there's someone who's really good at plowing the field. I think I know someone? Really? If that's the case, I'd love to ask this person to help me out. If you find this person, please tell them to find me right away, okay? I calculate 90% chance that this request is in some way connected to gratitude crystals. Your dowsing ability can be calibrated to locate a person who will plow the pumpkin patch for this girl. Yeah, of course, we'd rather have it. Instead of the other one. Just a pumpkin symbol. And this is probably one of the most confusing ones up to this point. Is there really someone who would help me out? I'll try to keep my hopes up. Just wait here patiently until they show up. Unfortunately, the robot's... You know, I think this is a good thing. The robot has to really take his time to... He has to hold the thing for us even longer. Just, you know, really make him suffer a little bit more. As you can see, this is also bringing us to the Elden Province. Once again. And you may wonder, why didn't I go here to activate both quests before this? Well, keep in mind that the... robot can actually only lift one thing at a time, including the pumpkin soup that he's carrying right now. So, you know, he's going about it right now. Of course, that means we can't go and do this quest right away, but I knew we had to come over here for the main quest anyway, and I felt like getting the main quest out of the way first would just be more... I don't know. I feel like it'd just be more effective. Anyway, I'm going to cut ahead to when we're close to the island in question. See you there in just a moment. I know I mentioned I was going to cut until I was close to the end, but I actually wanted to cut right here because these enemies that really we couldn't do anything about before, well, our dash actually does do damage to them. As I mentioned, it essentially is just the boost, but now it actually allows you to do damage, meaning that these guys that were once really annoying and also something you just had to dodge, we can actually now just get rid of by pressing X at the right time around them, making them way less threatening, which is really cool to see that upgrade. Made it to the Rainbow Island, which you may have investigated if you were here earlier. I didn't because, again, there's nothing actually over here normally, but now we have a reason to be here. Let's just hope this works. I'm unloading this cargo of pumpkin soup here. You picked an odd place for soup delivery. Feels dangerous. Something could jump out at us at any moment. Hungry for soup. Or a robot. What if Uncle Sherm's a robot? What if Gary's a robot? I'm out of here. See you around, Zert.
Great Spirit of the Sky is Levias, and I guess I didn't really know what to expect when I was hearing the name Levias, and it was apparently something that lived in the Thunderhead, but it certainly wasn't this. Starting off, you're going to want to get on your Loft Wing. As of course, this is going to be an air-themed battle, making it super unique, as every other battle at this point, of course, you know, nothing's been based on the air. What you'll want to do is you'll notice these tentacle-looking eye things, of course, protruding out of Levias, which is really disgusting. And what you'll want to do is try to dive bomb by pressing X at the right time into the eyes in order to actually deal damage to them. As you can see, dashing into his body does damage to us, meaning that it's unfortunately a little sucky. We can't target them, so we don't really have an easy way of aiming for them, but what you have probably the easiest time doing is trying to, as you can see, cut off a little bit of time by knowing when he's going to turn. This makes it a little bit easier for us. I'm actually going to turn around here because I also want to show this too. But yeah, you essentially just want to cut him off when he's trying to make a turn, as this is much easier. He'll only just float around in a circle, and he doesn't really have any major attacks in terms of like things he'll actually try to do to you. The main thing is just knowing when to counter and trying to not run into him. The thing I want to show is if you come back here, there are a bunch of heart plants, and of course you can just land here to use potions and other stuff. So always make sure you take a little rest if you need to. But there's only one more tendril left from the looks of it. It's in kind of an awkward position because it's a little bit lower down, and his tail, you know, it's kind of annoying because it's a giant hitbox. We're going to see if we can cut him off here a little bit, because keep in mind his turns he has to take a lot wider since he's a bit bigger, allowing us to maybe catch up, and oh, they hit the tendril. Yeah, unfortunately you have to hit directly the eye too. If you hit the tendril, as you can see, it doesn't really go well. So we're going to have to see if we can get maybe angle that's a little better. I tried to go up and over, but I think that made it a little harder to aim. Hopefully, there we go. Well, whatever this thing is, it's decided to show, I guess, its true eye. I mean, it's a lot smaller, so I'm guessing it's the real eye. What you'll want to do is actually hop off onto Levias's hard, bone-shaped plate that's on his head, because we are now actually going to be riding this giant creature. Peculiar Parasite, Kite, because it's a kite-looking thing. Yeah, believe it or not, it's actually not Levias himself. It's a giant parasite that's infested his body, something that happens a lot in the Zelda franchise, believe it or not. As you can see, this creature is a giant eye on a stem, and it has those little fan plates. It'll shoot up projectiles you can hit back at him, which in turn will allow you to do some actual damage. From here, you have a few options. Once you destroy both the fans, you can get out the bow, shoot him in the eye, if you want to, which allows him to come down and allows you to do a ton of damage. As you can see here. Especially thanks to our sword upgrade, makes it a lot easier. Of course, you have a decent amount of room to work with. As you can see, these green little orbs are the ones that'll come after you, and these are the ones you can swing. You want to hit them left and right to hit his fans that are on the side of him. I'm guessing those are supposed to be. It's kind of reminding me of what the, one of the dinosaurs from Jurassic Park, I don't remember. But you don't have just the bow to use. You can also do it the way I'm guessing they intended you to do, which is you can actually just hit it back immediately. I just wanted to show that you can do it with the bow as well, because when I first played the game, I thought that was the only way of doing so. Because, you know, giant eye in a Zelda game, why wouldn't you have to shoot the bow at him? It just seemed like it made sense. But as you can tell, it's really cool of a fight. It's like super spectacle, but in terms of an actual like challenge, it's not that bad. It's just all that timing, which as you can see, I'm actually messing up a bit. so maybe I shouldn't be saying anything about it being maybe a little easy. But still, it's a really fun fight that I think, again, it's a really cool set piece being on the giant creature here, having there be actual combat on the, Loftwing, Skywing, Loftwing and stuff like that really adds to it, I think. And as you can see, this is where things get a little more complicated because he'll actually start, attempting to dodge his head out of the way. Upon doing so, you'll have to either guess, or you can just react if you're far enough back like that, to where he's going in order to hit him. So, for example, here it's right, and so on and so forth. Again, this way you want to keep some distance in between you and him, because then you'll have more time to react to where you need to swing. You can, again, just use the arrows and bows if you want, or whatever, but I find this way more satisfying than, you know, just shooting him with the arrow. Let's see if we get it again. Bam! Doing a little bit of chip damage here. Oh, dang it. Guessed wrong that time. I assumed he was, because he just kept going right over and over again, so I assumed that's all he was going to do. There we go.
Tell me, boy, was it you who brought me this most delectable cauldron of pumpkin soup? I must apologize for my earlier behavior. A most peculiar and irksome pest possessed me. I was not myself. But that business is done with now. The delicious aroma of that soup has restored me to my senses. I am the great spirit they call Levias. Before she passed from this world so long ago, the goddess highly appointed me as Warden of the Skies. And what do they call you, boy? Ah, Link, is it? A rather pleasing name. That. Your parents clearly have excellent taste in names. You carry a curious sword, boy. And I sense a silent power dwelling somewhere in that little frame. Ah, I see it now, Link. You are the goddess's chosen hero. How interesting. I see you've come to hear what I know of the Triforce?
That's correct.
As I suspected. Listen closely and I'll tell you. As you likely know, long ago an evil force attempted to take the Triforce for his own. The goddess did everything in her power to prevent it from falling into his hands. For the safety of all things, she hid the Triforce somewhere within the rock you call Skyloft. However, its location has been kept secret. Even I do not know where it rests now. Oh, but the goddess did entrust me with a hint as to the Triforce's location. The clue is a song meant to be played on a harp you hold. It is known as the Song of the Hero. The song is the key to revealing the secret location of the Triforce. The goddess split the song into 4 parts. She entrusted 1 part to me and the other 3 to the dragons of the land. You must gather each of the parts of the Song of the Hero. Seek out the dragons and convince them to teach you their parts. When they've taught you what they know, come to me and I will complete the song with my own voice. The dragons can be found at Faron Woods, Elden Volcano, and Loneru Desert. Go on then, find the dragons and you now seek.
We've helped save Levias, and now the Thunderhead is, well, can't really call it the Thunderhead anymore because it's cleared up. There's no more storm happening here. It's all bright and shiny, though those enemies still exist. And we've really come a long way. We've made some progress, once again. We found out where the giant, and at the time for us unknown, Guardian and Warden of the Skies, Levias, resided. Hey there, buddy. With his knowledge of where the Triforce is located, we once again have a lead to go off of. Next time, as Link dips out of frame, we are and he turns here. We are going to be finishing up a few more small things around Skyloft, and in turn, eventually head down towards the surface to talk to the dragons and get that melody of the hero that we need in order to finally save Zelda for real as I keep dipping in and out of frame. I hope to see you all there.